One love, God bless. Fire Nelson here. Today I'm here to talk to you about defeating the ego. You know, it's funny, anytime they even bring up the ego in general, it even kind of has a negative feeling to it. You know, I don't know if that's the same with anybody else, but when people say, oh, you're acting from your ego or you're living from your ego, it doesn't feel good, you know, when you're speaking from your ego. It doesn't feel good when people tell you this. So we have to realize what our ego actually is. And a lot of people don't know what that is. But the ego is when you think only from your limited self, from the self of self-preservation. Oh, you're not gonna offend me in any type of way. You're not gonna step on my name in any type of way. You're not going to upset me, make me look wrong, make me look crazy. Well, that is crazy. You don't ever want to look wrong. You don't ever want to look crazy. Well, that is crazy. That is the definition of the ego right there. And we have to realize that the ego can lead us into destruction. The ego can lead us into places we never even intended to go to. You know, we were destined to be on a good path, on a right path, but when we fall into that ego, sometimes it can take us to a dark place, and it's very hard to get out of. You know, when even in the Bible, when Jesus was encountering Satan, you know, lots of times it says people are tempted by Satan. That's a normal thing to say as well. Not even just in the Bible, but in general. People normally, when they speak about Satan or, you know, evil or sin, they say they are tempted, you know. And then once you are tempted, because Satan can't just take you, you know, Satan can't, you know, hurt you. Satan can't do anything to any of God's children when they are aligned with the Most High, with God. But when you are tempted and you fall into that temptation, it's a slippery slope. And sometimes you may fall into the grasp of Satan, of demonic energy, of these negative influences. And then it becomes a slippery slope, you know, and it's very hard to get out of once you get into it, especially very deep. You know, once you get into drinking every single day, all day, it's hard to break that alcoholic addiction. It's hard to stop taking drugs. If you take drugs every single day and just start living that lifestyle, it's hard to break that. So just like any other negative thing, whether it's drugs or something mental, it's gonna be hard to break once you let yourself slip into it. It's okay to slip sometimes, but don't let yourself become grasped by sin, grasped by what the ego may drive you, you know? And that's why we call ego, because it's nicer than saying your demonic energy, your satanic energy. You're letting Satan drive you instead of the Most High. You're not being guided, you're resisting. And that's where we find problems. What we resist is what persists in our life. So if we want to bring in good things in our life, we need to stop resisting all the bad stuff and let the bad stuff flow through, because that's some karma getting released. That's some negative energy that we had put out into the universe that's being cleared up, thankfully. So let that clear out and keep on seeing stuff for what it is, positive. Seeing the beauty of the world positively, you know, the beauty of nature, the beauty of life, the beauty of you being able to breathe and walk and talk. And if you can't, be grateful for what you can do, because you're still here for a reason. And if you're here and you're not using this divinity, using this incarnation for something beneficial for others and only for yourself, well, that's going to be a lonely and dark place. That's going to be an ego-based place. But when you align yourself and you figure out, and it's not something that happens overnight, it's a gradual process, but when you're able to align yourself and figure out what you're really here to do, nothing else matters. You forget about everything else. You forget about what is blocking you, what may be stopping you, what false beliefs may have been running your life before. Now you are in a new body. Now you're in a new mindset. Now you're really living, and you're not just surviving out here. Because that's what the ego does. It puts you in a space of survival, put you in a space of, oh, they better not hurt me in any type of way, physically, mentally, or spiritually. But once you realize that you don't need to survive, the Most High got you. God has you. Allah has you. Krishna has you. Yahuwah got you. Don't worry. You don't need to survive. You are here for a reason, and you're here to thrive. So get out of that survival mindset and get into that thrival mindset that you are here to be at. And the thrival is not for just yourself. The thrival is not for selfish reasons for you to just get rich and forget about everybody and everything. The thrive is for you to shine your light so bright. Be that positive energy. Be that source of abundance for the people in your environment and everything around you. And being able to be that example of someone who is walking the path of righteousness and not falling into even little bits of corruption. We all slip and fall sometimes. That is normal. But the way these people fall into corruption, the way these people even excuse corruption by keeping silent about corruption when they're already big and they're famous and have these big names and this and that, and they want to keep silent about corruption and keep supporting corruption silently even, you know. This is what the ego does, because they don't want to ruin brand deals. They don't want to ruin their name or get themselves into a situation that might upset relationships, you know, business-wise and things like this. The ego will have you worshiping money more than people. The ego will have you checking in on your assistant and your business partners more than your own family. That's what the ego will do. It will have you so alone at the top of a mountain thinking that you're rich, but you're not sharing this riches with anybody. And you realize, dang, I don't even know how to be nice. I don't even know how to be spiritually aligned. I don't even know how to inspire people other than just by flashing money in a Rolex and these cars and things like this. So we have to realize the riches that the ego brings is a false riches that will bring you only loneliness and destruction. And that is the truth. It will only bring you closer to a satanic energy. It will only bring you further away from God. So when we live by the ego, we are living by a satanic demonic energy that is confusing us into thinking this is right because we want to be right. We want to not be hurt. We want to be heard. We want to be the loudest. Humble yourselves and let others show their true colors. Learn from them. You know, we don't always have to be the loudest in the room. Usually the quietest in the room is the most intelligent, because that person is learning from everybody. That person is knowing every single body before anybody else knows them. You say, am I gonna use my time and my energy to really show these people my true self? Because of course, if you're walking in that divine light and you're walking with the Most High, people are gonna like you. And people are gonna tell you false lies and tell you sweet things in your ear. But then you see their true colors later and you're like, I can't believe I was associating with them. So now that we have killed the ego and killed those demonic tendencies where we want to be heard and want to be liked and want to be appreciated all the time, when we killed these energies, these weaker, lower energies, you know, then we're able to see people and actually realize where our worth, you know, is to be spent. Don't cast pearls before swine, you know? They're not gonna appreciate what's going on. They're gonna just eat it up and that's it. Spit it right back out on the other side. You know, so you don't wanna get eaten up by these wolves and these lions, well, not lions, because you know, we the lions. But these wolves out here, these snakes out here, you don't want to get eaten up by these snakes and these wolves out here by trying to cast your pearls before them, cast yourself before them when they're not even really appreciating you. They're just talking sweet things in your ear so they can use you for their own selfish benefit and then cast you away. Realize your worth. Realize you are so much bigger than what your ego may be guiding you to. Learn how to kill that ego so that Satan doesn't take advantage of your weaknesses, because we all have weaknesses. Even I have weaknesses. Everybody has weaknesses. My guru has weaknesses. But those who pretend they have no weaknesses are those who are living by the ego. Those who are pretending they have no weaknesses are those who are truly in danger of falling. So stay up, stay blessed, stay aware, stay aligned with the Most High, so you can actually use your true wisdom, your third eye wisdom. Don't use the wisdom of man so much. Use the wisdom of your actual higher intelligence. Go to these holy scriptures. Learn how to act. Learn how to actually live in this world. Read Bhagavad Gita. Read the Bible. Read other, Vedas. Even the Quran. And just ancient texts. Die to live, A beautiful saint wrote that, There's a bunch of ancient texts and modern texts that aren't ancient. Die to live is not ancient, but there's a bunch of ancient texts and modern texts that you can read now that will help you get to where you want to be, actually. Not where you think you want to be, but where you actually want to be. You understand? A place of peace, a place of prosperity, a place of abundance, a place of wealth, mentally, physically, and spiritually. I appreciate everybody that watched this, and I hope that you succeed on your journey to becoming a true light in this world. If you have any other questions or any other video ideas, please comment them below. I would love to hear them and get some more ideas of what you guys really want to know, I want to see real questions from these real people. I appreciate everybody that watched it all the way through. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and have a blessed day. One love.